Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be walking you through everything that I made in winter. I'm going to start with the things that I sewed because I think that's more popular on this channel, and then I'll move into the garments that I knit and crocheted, and then I'll move into accessories that I crocheted. I'm going to show you this in no particular order. I'm just going to reach from the top of the pile and work my way through it. The first thing is the Roberts Wood shirt dress pattern. It was just a shirt pattern, but she recently put out an extension to make it into a shirt dress. I made myself one out of flannel shirts that I got from the thrift store. This is going to be a video that comes out. You will see the process of me making this. I made it for a concert that I went to at the end of February. It's very warm. It's very comfortable. I'll show the try-on clips here. It doesn't fit exactly how I wanted it to, so it's more loungewear than outerwear like I was planning it to be. That's fine. I'm still gonna wear it, and I am glad to have it in my wardrobe. I didn't follow the instructions entirely because the front placket is supposed to only be sewn down in the seams here, like along here. And I sewed it down all the way down, and I'm glad that I did because I constructed the sleeves the way that you were meant to, which leaves this seam unfinished, which really showed after I washed it, and you can see it's already fraying. So I'm going to have to sew that down so that that doesn't wear, because this took me a long time to make and I want it to last for a long time. Instead of sewing on buttons, I hammered in all of these metal snaps that I've been collecting from the thrift store for years. I have hundreds of these, and they're very easy to put in and very effective. So I'm definitely going to use these more often. I used a different button snap on the sleeves. They look different. They're bigger. I like that too. One of the sleeves, this one, I put the button snapped the wrong way. It's supposed to be snapped like this, because then the placket folds over properly, but I did it backwards, and that's fine. I like how this looks worn open, kind of like a duster. I think that looks very cool. I think I'll probably use this as like a house coat because it's very warm in this cotton flannel material. And I do plan to make another one of these. I've already got all the men's shirts for it, which you will see in my upcoming video called Sewing Plans for Spring. The next item I have to show you is actually the item that I finished most recently. It is the Sylvan jacket by Sew Liberated. I made this out of a wool fabric that I got at the thrift store, as well as the lining is made from, I think it's either cotton or polyester that I got at the thrift store. I sewed a little tag, embroidered a little tag under the hanging loop, and I think that looks adorable. This pattern was marketed as a jacket that is a mix of a tour coat and a grandpa cardigan, and I do think that it does that well. I was hoping for this to look more casual. It's my fault that it doesn't look casual because I chose to use this black wool that I was going to use for a blazer, and now it looks like a blazer, which, as I said in a previous video, I'm not entirely sure is my style. I see that some of the facing here has popped out. That's unfortunate. I'll be able to fix that though. This jacket is constructed in an interesting way because there is underline all the pieces. So that's how you finish it. Like you can see where I underlined it here, but it looks like I wrapped the seams in bias tape or something. I think that's very pretty. And the arm size I just covered in seam binding. The cool thing about this jacket is it comes with, I think, like 13 to 17 different pocket options. That adds a lot of versatility and makes it so that I want to make another one of these in a different color so that it looks more casual, probably a blue, and to add a different pocket. There's a pocket I really like that is just like a big rectangle with this circle cut out of it so that the opening is a circle, and I think that that looks lovely. The pockets that I opted for, I believe it's called Meg Slant Pocket on the side here, which you'll see in the try-on clip, and I also put a tiny pocket underneath that on both sides. I don't think that the tiny pocket is going to be super functional, but I wanted to add it because more pockets is better. I used metal snaps again on this, and the first one I added, I put on the wrong way, and I was very upset. I had put so much work into it up to this point. I had embroidered the bee leaf in it and everything, and I was so ready for it to be done. I was planning to wear it the next day, and then I put the button on the wrong way, and I was so afraid that it would ruin the entire jacket. But my husband was able to remove it pretty easy with pliers without destroying the fabric at all, so that's excellent. This jacket has a shawl collar, which is not something I thought I would ever appreciate, but I really like how it looks. I think this is a great layering piece. Speaking of great layering pieces, I already put out a video on the process of making this jacket. I really, really love it. It fits very nicely. It's very comfortable. I think the boxy fit is quite flattering on myself. Often with these types of jackets, well, at least with that jacket, the Sylvan jacket, and this one, which is called the Portmanteau Shacket by French Navy Pattern, I have to shorten the length of the jacket because I'm short-waisted. The distance between my bust and my waist is short. I shortened the jackets. This one I shortened by 3 inches, and that one I shortened by 2.5 inches. I think that's just more flattering on my body type. There's 3 patch pockets on this jacket, and I like how it looks. I did 2 lines of stitching on all of the pockets. This jacket I made out of thrifted materials, as well as it's, what's that called, like interlined. I quilted the interior fabric with a fleece blanket that I've had for about a decade, and it was nice to use it because it was all pilly and unpleasant to the touch, but it's not being touched here, but it makes the jacket quite warm. I can wear this with a t-shirt in the middle of winter and be warm enough, which for Albertan winters is pretty impressive because it's often -20 and sometimes -40, and that's in Celsius, so that's quite cold, and this keeps me warm quite well. I don't think I'm going to make another one of these just because I think that one is enough in my wardrobe. I finished the buttonholes by hand, and I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. They are a little tight, and the fray check did stain the fabric a little. It is definitely discolored around there, unfortunate, but I don't think it's very noticeable when I wear it. I highly recommend French Navy Pattern. I love the way that she finishes her garments. Everything is sealed in a lovely way. I did alter the construction of this jacket a little because I had quilted it, and I also wanted to have it fully lined. She includes instructions to partially line it. I'm glad I fully lined this because it's very warm. Everything's finished. It's beautiful. I finished December by making 3 large curtain panels for my front room. It took a really long time, but it used up all of my scraps, which is excellent. I've been using that as the background in my videos, so you will have seen that already. That's it for all my sewn garments. I guess I also made 7 pairs of underwear, but they are too small for me, so I have to make more underwear for myself. I'll talk more about that in my underwear video that is upcoming, as well as in my sewing plans video, which is upcoming. So if you're interested in those things, subscribe so that you can watch them. Let's move on to this cardigan. This is my most recent finished object for knitting. I recently started knitting again because my sister got into it. I realized again that I love knitting. It's so satisfying. It's very tactile, and I like how knitted garments look more than crochet garments, but I also like crochet. I got the yarn for this cardigan at the thrift store. I paid $12 for all the yarn in this cardigan, as well as I have, I believe, 5 skeins left over. It was an excellent deal for that yarn. I talked about it in my thrift video yarn edition if you want more information. This is the cardigan number 7 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I'll have a photo up here. It is a raglan construction. It fits really well. It has a higher neckline than I was anticipating, but I like wearing it with the top 3 buttons done up and then it open over my hips. It does close over my hips, but I do find that that is unflattering on me, so I do the 3 buttons done up on the top. It uses tubular bind off, which it was my first time doing that, though I do think I did it wrong because it's supposed to be really stretchy. I don't think it's really stretchy. I think it's about as stretchy as a regular bind off. Maybe that's how it's supposed to be. With this fluffy yarn, it's hard to tell if I'm pulling it too tight or not. I used these buttons that I got for free in my thrifted craft haul, One of my husband's coworkers gave me a bag of buttons. I think that they go very nice with this cardigan. I finished this just in time for Valentine's Day, so I wore it on my Valentine's date with my husband. It was very warm and we went to the theater, and normally I get cold in the theater and I wasn't even cold because I was wearing this fluffy cardigan. I'm in a union and we're bargaining right now, and we wear red on the days that we're bargaining to show support for our bargaining team. I don't really love wearing red. I don't think it suits me, but this is like a cooler tone red. I think it looks really good on me. In fact, I wore it to work just a couple days ago, and one of my coworkers saw me wearing it and she said, "I love your cardigan. Red really suits you." This cardigan was my first free-handed cardigan. I looked up a lot of different crochet stitches and chose one that I liked. I believe this is called the iris stitch. Basically like a V-stitch but with 2 double crochets instead of 1 double crochet. I worked the back panel to where I wanted the armhole to be, and then I worked the front panels and cast on or used foundation chain to add more to the center front on both sides, and then worked in the round and added the sleeves. And it has a very slight bell shape on the sleeve. I do think that it is a little too cropped. I do wear it still. I wear it a lot. It does have a lot of holes in it, but if I wear it with a long sleeved shirt, it's comfortable and warm because then the breeze doesn't touch my skin. And this is like an acrylic blend, so it is a very warm yarn. I got this yarn by unraveling a sweater that I got at the thrift store. I still have like 3 balls left, I think, so I could lengthen it, but I don't think I have more buttons, so I don't know if I'm going to lengthen it. I'm proud of my button placket on this one. I think it turned out great, and I like how these buttons look with this yarn. It's pretty. My last crochet garment is the Vala vest, and this is actually the first item that I finished in winter. I really like the Vala vest. I made my sister a cotton version for her birthday, so I knew that I wanted to make one for myself. It has an interesting construction, and I like how the different textures are. I think it's really pretty. It uses a double crochet, a puff stitch, and an eyelet stitch. That really looks nice, I think. This one I made more fitted than the one that I made for my sister. I did make the straps too long and I didn't like how that looked. So I sewed it down so that they were shorter. Because it's worked side to side, I couldn't just like rip that out and start over without redoing the whole thing, and I didn't want to do that. So there's just some lumps on my shoulders when I wear it, but I like how it looks better now. I also took out the edging around the armhole, and I think that that makes for a better fit as well. I just have a single crochet edging instead of adding the puff stitch like she wants you to. And same with the neckline. They just got too bulky, maybe because of the yarn that I was using, but I like how it looks now. And you probably saw in the try-on clips that it looks really good with this white shirt underneath it. So I'm gonna have to wear it that way. That yarn I got for free from a coworker. That's all I have to say about that. Next up is the bags that I made. I made this Nuria bag for myself, which you will see in the try-on clips here. I used a thrifted wool for this. Then the lining fabric is a thrifted, I believe this is a plastic type fabric. I think it's really pretty. It's a color change fabric. I still have more of this. I used it for my Halloween costume to line my cape. Gold and blue at the same time. I don't know if you can see the color change on camera, but it's quite beautiful. This bag is very nice. I made it so that I could take to work my thermos, my water bottle, my lunch, my knitting project, and my tablet. It doesn't fit all of that, but I think that this would be nice to store multiple knitting projects if I'm traveling. There's a big pocket in the front and in the back. These are twin pockets. And then there's a middle pocket that's zippered that also has a smaller zipper pocket in it, and then side pockets beside that. And on the front, there's 2 more zippered pockets. So this bag has a plethora of pockets. And then there's also this flap which holds it all closed. Nice. One of these straps I sewed on twisted, which is unfortunate. I'll still use this bag. I like it a lot. I've made it before for my sister-in-law, and so I knew that I wanted to make one for myself. The last bag that I made is this heart bag that I made for Valentine's Day. I don't love it. It's also Sarah Merriam. She's recently updated her pattern, so it's probably better now, but when I made it, the gusset didn't fit around the heart, so I had to trim off the point of the heart so that the gusset would fit. I don't know if I constructed it wrong or if it's just very hard for hearts to hold its shape. I used a lot of interfacing but it kind of turns into a blob instead of holding that heart shape. The inside, I did not finish well. My serger was mad at me, and I just didn't have the patience to finish this properly because I knew I was just going to wear it for Valentine's, and I didn't even end up wearing it for Valentine's, so I don't know. I'll probably give it to one of my sisters, or I'll just use it as a project bag because it would probably work well for that. That was the Sweetheart bag by Sarah Merriam. Now for a couple of smaller crochet items. I made myself a case for my tablet before the copper case came in. This is just freehand. I added an adorable scalloped edge here. It's cute, and why not add whimsy to your life? And sewed a button on, and there is a little case here for the pen that came with the tablet. This is a very functional object, and I will use it when I travel with my tablet for extra protection. Another freehand pouch. This is for my camera, which I'm filming on right now. It's just a tiny little pouch, and it's actually too big for my camera. I use a GoPro now. I got it on sale at Costco, and it's excellent. I love small things, and this is small and functional, so that's excellent. This pouch is what I store it in. That's it for pouches that I crocheted. On to headwear. The first thing I made is this beret. I freehanded this because I have a crochet beret pattern, but I didn't understand the stitch pattern of it, so I decided to just do a double crochet one. I used the last of the sweater that I unraveled for my Eternal Seasons cardigan to make this. I think it's a very nice beret. I just don't know how to wear berets in a way that doesn't look like a chef's cap. Maybe this needs more structure in order to maintain its shape, or it needs to be rounder or something, but I haven't worn it pretty well at all. I don't like how it looks on me. I'll probably give this to a sister as well. Last up, I have this bandana. I just did a basic granny stitch bandana. It was very satisfying to make and very fast. This is a cotton yarn that I got from the thrift store, and I added a plethora of picots around the edges. Again, I'm not entirely sure how to wear this, but I like wearing it around my house so that I feel cute. Highly recommend making your own bandanas. These are very fast and satisfying. I also made a t-shirt. It's in the wash right now, so I don't have it to show you, but I used the free pattern by French Navy Pattern. I believe it's called the Stellan tee. I'll put a photo here. It's part of my underwear video that is upcoming. I didn't have a twin needle when I made it. I did a zigzag stitch on the hem, and I recently acquired a twin needle, so I want to try actually properly finishing the hem with a twin needle. And then those 7 pairs of underwear that I was unable to show you because I gave them to my sister. Hopefully they'll fit her. That's everything that I made in winter this year. I am succeeding in my goal to make layerable pieces in my wardrobe so that I can be warm, usable from season to season because it's layerable. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked this video, I hope that you subscribe so that you can see my next one. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.